Yes, and we are live. Yes, it is day 2 of our 10-day series in preparation for our discipline workshop. For okay. So I'm hearing that there may be problem on Facebook, but it's fine. I think we can do this on YouTube and we can do it successfully. So, yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining us from. How are you doing? And this is day 2. I'm grateful, I'm happy that you're here today. And today, what are we going to be talking about? So, yesterday, who was here yesterday? Who got some form of benefit from our yesterday's session. And for me, it was an eye opener. And one of the things that I remember and I know that stuck with me because sometimes when I have sessions like this, they're first for me, is a reminder for myself too, even before you. And one of the things I remembered saying is that we constantly complain about Gen Z. They are this, they are that. They're not hardworking. They just want to be on their own. They don't want to have conversations. They are locked up in their rooms. And then for me, it was like we continue to complain, or we will find out what the problem is and actually address it. Because whatever generation we're talking about, we're still the parents. They are still younger than us. They're still our children, and we're meant to guide them. So if there's a disconnect, if there's something wrong, it's time for us to sit and actually sit with ourselves and say, what exactly is the problem? And trust me, as a parent, you could be the problem. We can keep complaining all we want, but till we sit down and have those honest conversations with ourselves, we won't necessarily get anywhere. Say, yes, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from? How is it going? How is your day going? So, yes, today we're going to be talking about when our past becomes their present. Yes, this one for me. Preparing for it, I was like, okay, yes, this is one conversation that's not going to be easy, but it has to be done. It's not necessarily going to be what you want to hear, but trust me, if you come with an open mind, you would see that it is something that is really necessary. So a lot of times we as parents are like, oh, especially in my line of work, I speak with a lot of parents, especially moms, because they are my people. Yeah, and they're in this place where they're still in kind of in denial, where they do not understand the role that they're playing in their children's misbehavior. And it's easy, what they're doing is just, playing the blame game. My son did this, my child did that, my daughter did this, and go on and on and on and on. And even when the school complains, they say, no, it's the school's fault. A whole lot that is going wrong with our parents and with parents today, and I mean you and I. But when you say, but there's this coach you should go and listen to. Oh, but there's and they're like, our parents didn't have to listen to any coach. Our parents didn't need anybody to teach them about parenting. I'm okay. And we turned out okay. See us, we turned out okay. And then I ask you today, I beg to ask, are you really okay? Did you really turn out okay? Because a lot of times we say this, especially when we're defending our parenting, when we're telling you that, okay, you should stop hitting your child. You should stop just constantly yelling at your child. Can you think of new ways to go about correcting your child? But no, you're like, this was what our parents did. Do you know the factory setting slap that my mom used to give me when I was younger? That thing was set, those things are the ones that got me to where I am today. And I'm telling you, where are you? Where are you? That you're a CEO somewhere doesn't make you okay. That you're the head of HR somewhere doesn't make you okay. And I say this with all form of humility and all form of honor, but I'm telling you that you're not okay. And I'm going to give you instances in case you're coming to come and you're coming for me. Don't worry, I'm sitting in my house. You can come for me all you want. But till you sit down and think about these things, we will continue to do the same things and expecting different results. But did you really turn out okay? Or did you just learn to survive? Did you turn out okay, or you just learned to survive? Because then children were meant to be seen and not heard. There was nothing that was coming from you that was really accepted per se, except you were putting on the performance, except you were putting on the show, except your result was good. So the child in the house with the best result was the best child in the house. The child who knew how to walk the most was the favorite child in the family. So is that the best you think God wanted you to do with your parenting? Is that the best? Is that the work you think God wanted you, to come as a parent to do? So that's what you're looking out for in your children. Oh, that child that gets first in the class all of the all the times. That's your favorite child. Do you think that is what parenting is about? And so how are we making our past their present today? we will walk the same line, we will toe the same line, we will do the exact same things till we sit down, acknowledge that there were some gaps, appreciate our parents first of all. Because for me, I would say it's anywhere, today, tomorrow, anywhere, I will not be who I am. I will not be standing in front of you if not for all of it was that my parents poured into me. Oh, and oh, they poured a lot. Very intentional parents, but they did their best with what they knew how. Now you know better. Are you going to keep being lazy and saying that, instead of you, because you think your parents do not want you to improve on what it is that they poured into you, it will be their joy to know that, they set the foundation, and then you're growing, you're building on it. But not that you take what it is that they gave you and that's all you bring to the table. Don't you think it's laziness? Don't you think it's arrogance for you to sit there and say, oh, I turned out okay, so there's nothing else for me to learn? Why? It is high time we sat with ourselves and had these conversations, because I see it ruining a lot of children. And for me, it's the children. While I have a psychology background, and I believe as psychologists, they'll tell you, we do not believe, we're always holding on to hope. We know that it can be better. We know that the youth today can be better tomorrow. And so I am a firm believer of, if you put in the work, you can be better. In short, if you know better, you will do better. But at the same time, I move from you to now think about your children, because you cannot give your children what you don't know. So I am speaking from a place of, do you know the harm you're causing to your children when you sit down there and sit arrogantly and say, oh, I don't need to learn anything about parenting. I'm okay. I turned out fine. I'm good. Do you know the harm you're causing to your children? Do you know all of the harm that you are carrying inside of you? And you're literally passing down to your children. May we not pass something negative, but just positive things towards our children. So yes, the one thing I wanted to remember today is that a quote by Peggy O. Mara, another author. I will be talking about a lot of authors because, like I say, some of these things didn't fall on me. I read a lot. I learn a lot. I'm in a parenting academy. I've been there for like 4 years, and I'm going to still be there. And I invite you, because it's not just parent coaches they take everybody, as long as you want to do differently with your life and you want to start showing up differently for yourself, for your family, for your business. Please welcome into the Intentional Parent Academy. I do not lie. That's where I get a lot of what it is that I'm able to do and I'm able to teach. And it's high time. I talk to people and I'm like, I see the gaps. I see a lot of gaps, and I'm okay, there's work to do, and it's not small work. So yes, it didn't fall on me. I read a lot of books, and she's one of the authors I read. And she said that the way you talk to our children will become their inner voice tomorrow. What do you want your children to be learning? What do you want your children to be hearing? What did you hear as a child? What were you told constantly? Oh, you're very scattered. You're very silly. You don't come first. What happened? The person that came first, does the person have two heads? You don't know that inside of you, you internalized something. You internalized, I am not good enough. You internalize, my brother is better than me. You internalize, everybody is better than me. And you know that unconsciously or consciously, you're going to parent yourself from that place. Try as much. You say to yourself that I remember, because a lot of us are carrying a lot of hurt. And some of us have been able to pinpoint it, to say, okay, this, I'm sure it's coming from what my mom told me. It's coming from what my dad told me. It is not enough. So you will tell yourself that I will never be the way my mom told me. Before she will even say one word, she will hit us then. Before my dad will say anything, he will tell us to kneel down that the sun for like 20 hours. We'll say all of those things, but we go back doing the same thing to our children. So it is not enough to know. It is not enough to know. The only time we can make a difference is when we learn how to do things differently and go against our nerves. And this is what they call jihad al-nafs in Islam. A lot of Muslims, you sit there and there's so much gems we're sitting on. The hadith, the Quran, and all of the things that we have been blessed with. But we look at ourselves and, in all honesty, are we really where we are meant to be? Are we really with all of this knowledge? Why? There's a gap. There's a disconnect. And let me tell you where the disconnect is. The disconnect is that we've not been able to sit and see how these things apply to us in our lives today. How it applies to us in our lives today. Whatever was happening in the prophet's time and how they were successful and they became one of the best was because they were able to take those teachings and apply to their lives. We can't be saying it in theory without us practicing it. And so, what knowledge is out there for us to learn about today? As regards our parenting, as regards disciplining our child and disciplining our children, what knowledge is out there for us? And have we sought it? As a Muslim, it is compulsory. Every Muslim, it is compulsory to seek knowledge, like across the earth, like down from, they said, If you have to go to China, go there and seek knowledge. But are we really doing it? Are we really doing it? Or we're just sitting down there and saying that, oh, we're okay. We're okay. So for every parent that has told me that, oh, I'm okay the way I am, and I start to ask a few questions, and then they realize that they are not. And then they realize that they are really not okay. But there's something, and we need to lift that veil from our eyes. We need to lift that veil from our eyes. And where did that come from? It came from us actually. Our emotions were suppressed. In short, our ability to even become was suppressed even before we became adults, even as children. And that's why then the honk of your father's car will send everybody running, going to do the work that they had given you since morning, the chores that you went ought to have done since 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock while they were going out. You don't do it till 4 p.m. when you hear that honk. And so what was that saying? That was happening because nobody sat us down to really explain to us over and over and over again why you had to do this chores. Because for children, and even adults, but for children in particular, knowing the why is different, it's stronger, and it leaves a better impression on them than you just telling them how, you just telling them what to do, and you just telling them how to do it. Tell them why they should do it. But we're so full of ourselves. Our parents hardly ever told us why. Our parents hardly ever told us why. Because I said so, because I'm your mother, because I'm your father, because this is what you're meant to do. You don't ask questions. So can you see where the problem is? And then we became, yes, we wouldn't do it because nobody actually explained to us that this is our room. You're meant to take care of your things. One of your values, what will make you a valuable person tomorrow in society is if you can take care of your own things and other people's things. Ingrain this into a child over and over and over again. But they were all just for survival. You have to. I'm on to the next thing. You have to. They drop their instruction, they move to the next thing. And this is why we're where we are today, where a lot of us will not do something except we're told at work to do it. A lot of us will not do something. All we understand is the carrot and the stick, except there's a consequence, except there's a punishment. So since you graduated, you never were able to pick a book. You pick a book, you can't finish it. You can't show up for something consistently. You can't show up for your child consistently. And our children bear the brunt of this because they have no powers. They literally are powerless. So this is our first time, where since we left our parents and, at least at work, I'm answerable to a boss. Even as a CEO, I have to make ends meet somehow. So I have to do what I'm supposed to do. But when you get home, that's when, who is that child that will come and ask me anything? And so we're literally bullying our children and we think it's okay. We're literally bullying them and we think that's discipline. And it's not by buying all of the beautiful things we buy for them or by taking them to the best destination, best places for vacations and all of that. It's in how do they really feel loved? Do they really feel heard? Do they really feel seen? Do you gradually teach them these things? Or you don't care. The moment you say this is what you have to do, and I'm the parent and you're the child, you have to do it, or else you do not go to that next vacation, you do not get that, that iPad I promised you, and then we keep using things. We materialize our parenting, we materialize their own lives, we shall materialize our children and change the way they think, that it's all because of these things. That's what's most important. It's a different thing if you're using it every once in a while, to encourage them to do things. But when that becomes their way of life, you see children being so invested in things, like their eyes just light up when they see material things. And do we know that that's a recipe for disaster? So you need to sit with your parenting today. You need to sit and start to audit your parenting. Enough of those lies you're telling. See, they are not working. But you will not know it. So I've interacted with quite a number of parents. You won't know it till these children start to grow. These children who you have not taught start to grow. And then they are taking things from outside, because the time will come when you're not the primary person they are listening to. When they were even listening to you, what were you saying? Were you not just criticizing and judging and instructing? Were you teaching? Were you building? Were you nurturing? And so when they grow up, they start to collect from everywhere. They're collecting from it's not hush puppy, what they call them. They're collecting from what's this boy's name? Oh, I don't even know, Pella. They're collecting from all of those terrible people that they look at as icons because you are not their icon. You are not their role model. You say one thing, you do another thing, right in front of their eyes. You're telling them to lie to somebody that you're not around, and all of those things that we do. Yet, we're the same people who, when these children make a mistake, we act like, they've killed. Before you know, one slap is here. Before you know, you're screaming up and down and all of that. What of you, ma, sir? What of you? And so I beg to question. I told you yesterday was the first day, so we were all, lovey-dovey, and but no, we need to have this truth said. We need to have this truth said. And for boys, for my boys, it hurts me the most because we can see the damage that has been done on the boys past, who became men now, who have become men. I don't even know. Pardon my English. Who are now men? We are seeing the damage that has been done on them. But we are unable to link it to parenting. That's the thing. And we go complaining and complaining and complaining about all the different men in our lives doing things. Yet, what steps are we taking to ensure that the boys that are under our care are not, the same thing is not done to them? Because we complain about these men, yet who raised them? It's not us, the women, that raised them. So what do you think? Isn't that a call for us to sit up and take our responsibilities a lot more seriously and tell ourselves the truth and cut the chase, all of the deceit that we give ourselves, all of the, the packaging we do? It hasn't served anybody and it won't serve us now. So we're literally making our past their present. We're not thinking. We're not saying, what can I work on? What can I do? We just, okay, the more money I accumulate, after all, I earn more than my parents earned before. At least I'm able to take him to a good school, a better school than I went. Oh, at least I'm able to buy, a better bag than they. Oh, I use my bag for 5 years, for 6 years. I get to change their bag every year. And everything is all about the material things. What of the values? What of the teachings? What of the things that even when you're not there tomorrow? And that's why you see that a lot of parents, they leave inheritance that instead of helping their children, it's like a cost to that family. It even separates them. It makes a mess of them. They make a mess of whatever inheritance they've been given, and there is no blessing in it. That's because we made the major the minor and made the minor the major. We went and concentrated on how much am I supposed to give them? How much accumulation of things. And we forgot that parenting is in the teaching. Parenting is in the teaching. Parenting is in the teaching. But can you teach what you do not have? You, ma, you, sir, what are your own values? What do you stand for? Or do you stand for one thing today at work and tomorrow you stand for a different thing? So these are questions we have to ask ourselves. There's no one coming to teach us. There's no one coming to save us. There's no one coming to teach us. There's no one coming to save us. And so, when we're going to be talking about discipline at our workshop, we're going to go back to look at how we're parented. We're going to look at those things, what we're doing today, and how it's affecting our children, and what we can start to do differently. For me, I've always believed in the roots. Yes, there are too many things I was struggling with, but till I could go back and connect it to my childhood, till I could go back and connect it to another experience that I had that caused the trauma it crossed in me. I just kept going round and round in circles. And I promise you, it's not a cause. A lot of times, your intention is good, but you will struggle with getting results because you have not dealt with the trauma. You have not dealt with the problem from the roots. So this is my invitation to you to come register for this workshop. It is just 10,000 naira. I don't know how much I barely know what 10,000 can do in this Nigeria in a week for you. But trust me, you will start to see your children differently. You will start to have compassion even towards the people you feel, have gotten you to where you are. Most importantly, you will live a life you start to see the power you have as a person and then as a parent. Because whatever it is I teach, it's not just for you. It's not just for your children. It's for you first. It's for you first. It's literally you sitting with yourself and seeing, the gaps in your life. You're seeing how it's affecting you, how it's affecting your relationship. And you will see how it's affecting your finances. And that's why we're taking 2 days, 2 good days to sit down and do this work. We didn't get here overnight. We're not going to just because we stumbled on a 10-minute video. We're going to do, but you'll get worksheets. You will sit down, and in what's it called, after the class, you will sit with the questions and you will tell yourself the truth, because I'm not in your home. I didn't grow up with you, but I've interacted with a lot of parents, and I see a pattern, and every pattern is changed. Is you can take it back to your childhood, and so we're going to be coming from there, and we're going to be showing you, this is it. This is what's happening in your life. This is how you got here. And this is what you can do better. And this is how it's going to make your relationship with your children better. Because of the packaging that we're used to, we have to appear just the way we had to. We needed to hear the honk from our parents' car for us to stand up and go and do the work. And then we do the work and we come back and we sit like, we've been working all day. We've been reading all day. It's the same thing we're doing now. We package ourselves for every other person, everybody, our colleagues, even your spouse, and even your children. Sadly, children will see through you. Oh my God, children will see through you. Children, give them time. In short, these ones, they don't even need time. I think when it was when we grew up, we started seeing through our parents. These ones are seeing through you now. And if you give them the what's it called, the avenue, they will call you out. Oh, mine call me out a lot. But have you even created that environment for them? Or it is whatever it is, whatever I say goes. You can't even, and that's why they can't sit down with you and have conversations. They rather lock themselves up with their tab, or they're chatting with one person that you don't know about on Roblox, or where it is that they are constantly engaged in. And you think they're just with those devices, they are safe. But in your head, you feel like, I did have a device when I was small, and I'm giving my child a device just to make the child happy. Is that what you came to this world to do? To make your child happy? Where is the guidance? Where is the teaching? Where is the tarbiyah? You think it's in the hands of Islamia teachers, it's in the hands of their teachers in school? It's in the hands of their ustads and their malams? No, it is not. We cannot outsource parenting. I keep saying we cannot outsource parenting. And so you need to sit with yourself. You need to sit with yourself and do this auditing. And that's what day one is going to be about. You're not going to hear anything discipline about day one on day one. We're going to sit and we're going to audit ourselves as a people. I'm going to audit ourselves as parents. And even if you're not a parent, I beg, and I am happy that you'll be joining this course, because we're going to take you. It's all about healing. It's all about healing. That's what a lot of us end up in the wrong marriages. A lot of us end up with people that we know have no business ending up with, because we ourselves have not healed. We ourselves have not grown. Trauma is real, and trauma will make a mess of you and your process and wherever it is Allah has destined for you to be. And you wonder why you're struggling. It is because you have not healed. It is because you have not accepted where it is that you are now. And you have not accepted that this is what you do. And you've not accepted that there is a link between that and what it is that is not going on well in your life. There's a place for qadar. As a Muslim, you understand. There's a place for predestination. There's a place for tying your camel. There's a place for a work that you need to do. There's something you have to give Allah to work on. You cannot not know, and not that you're not even doing what you're supposed to be doing. And then you expect Allah, yes, there's a miracle. He performs miracles. He does it excellently well. But there's a place for tying your camel. And that was what the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked, okay, can I leave my trust in Allah and leave this camel to be? And he said, no, tie your camel. He said, tie your camel. Then, he did not say, put your trust in Allah, then tie your camel. He said, tie your camel, then put your trust in Allah. So how dare you sit there and say, oh, no, you're the best of parents, and you're not learning about parenting? Not today. You're not tying your camel. I put it to you that you're not tying your camel. And while du'as will walk. And I promise you they walk. They walk. I will never take away the place of dua, the strength of dua, the power of dua. But there's a power of you doing. And a lot of times I speak with mothers of boys, and I see that they do not know the power they have. They do not know the strength they have. They do not know the good they carry. We do not know ourselves. And it is a saying, an Arabic saying, where you do not know yourself, you do not know your Lord. When you don't know yourself, when you do not even know the struggles you have as a person, and I'm not talking financial, a lot of times when we have financial struggles, we go to Allah. No, there's a root. There's something beneath that financial struggle. There's something beneath that struggle you're having with your husband. There's something beneath that struggle you're having with your mother-in-law. When you do not know it, You just keep praying on the surface. You're not going in depth and sorting and asking Allah to help you to become. I didn't say you to help you to have things, to help you to become. Because you do not see the gap in your becoming. There's something about where it is that you should be. You're not there yet. And that's why you're struggling. And that's why you're struggling as a parent. So I hope you join us tomorrow. We're going to be talking about something else. But I'm going to spend some days on healing and the role healing has to play in disciplining our children right. Because so that we will not carry the same wounds that we have today, that we're dealing with today, and put it on our children. Because that's what a lot of us are doing. Oh, I've listened to parents. That's what a lot of us are doing. And I love to speak with educators, sometimes even more than I speak with parents, because they see they are with these children a lot of more with these children in school than the children than at home. So when these children get home, they are on, either they just disappear or they say what it is they want the parents to hear. Our kids have gotten so used to it. They will tell you, why not? I want to save my head. I want to save myself from stress. They will tell you only what it is that you need to hear. They will not tell you exactly what, they'll tell you what you want to hear. They won't tell you exactly what you need to hear to be able to guide them. Because even when you hear it, you flip out, you throw, you just explode, you react. You don't sit down and think. Join our workshop so you become a thinking parent. Join our workshop so you start to understand that it doesn't have to be immediate. You see your child doing something, take a step back. But you will not take a step back automatically. When you cannot control your emotions, join our class. We'll teach you so much. We'll teach you how to control your emotions. We'll teach you emotional intelligence. That is the rock of discipline. That is the bedrock of discipline. Because if you flip for everything you've heard, if you flip out for everything that you hear your children say, you will lose them. And the people out there are ready to take them. Have you heard of LGBTQ? Have you heard of those people who are grooming children on the internet? Have you heard of them? Are those the people you want to trust your children to? Are those the people you want to trust your children to? And that's what I'm going to leave you with. So yes, thank you so very much for joining me today. Please share this link. We'll continue to talk about this because I'm literally tired of hearing people complain and not taking responsibility. Because for every time your child does something, the highest level of awareness is when for every time your child does something, you're able to sit with yourself and say, and I do it a lot, and I still did it this morning, Amina, where did you go wrong? Where is the gap? Come and sit and fix it. And then you'll see your children thrive. You'll see your children. They will not be perfect, but trust me, you will know that there's a place you're going to and you're taking them along with you. But when you don't do that, you can't give what you don't have. So you just continue to recycle all the things that our parents did, of which some work, some don't work. So this is my invitation for you to join us tomorrow. And let's have a good time because we cannot continue to give excuses. Excuses can be found anywhere, but they do not produce results. All right, it's like come your way tomorrow. Bye. Thank you for joining, and I love you. Bye.